You're watching News 12 Overtime, brought to you by Pioneer Metal Depot.
Welcome to Overtime. I'm Rick Nyman.
And I'm Brian Armstrong.
The forecast for Northwest Whitfield and North Murray called for a shootout. Both teams have big-time quarterbacks.
The Bruins' Owen Booker and the Mountaineers' Seth Griffin have each thrown for over 800 yards this season, and the pass-happy duo should rewrite their school record books.
Game of the Week, sponsored by Citizens Tri-County Bank.
With an expected Western shootout, it only makes sense to have a wanted poster. Bruins come out firing when Owen Booker finds Isaiah Foster for a nice game. But the first big play belonged to the Mountaineers. Seth Griffin going long to Judson Petty, who's behind the defense. Petty almost takes it to the house. That set up this short touchdown run from Skylar Williams, 7-0 Mountaineers. Late in the first half, look at how wide open 26 Liam Rogers is. There's nobody around him. Seth Griffin finally finds him for the TD, 14-0 Mountaineers. Bruins would answer, though, when Owen Booker, look at him power in for that touchdown. Bruins had the power in the second half as they rock a 35-14 victory. Minden United Heritage crowd going bananas. Generals entertain Ridgeland. Heritage strikes first. Caden Swope calls his own number. He swopes in for the score. Late in the first quarter, same play, same result. Swope for 6, 14-0 Generals. Second quarter, Swope, it's going to go to the air this time. He lost one up there for Max Owens. All Generals in this one. Busy night for kicker Chipper Grayson for Heritage on extra points. The Generals win it by a final score of 35-7. To the overtime scoreboard, Gilmer falls hard to Ringgold at 27-0. Lafayette over Sonoraville, the final 34-20. McCauley downs West Broward of Florida 62-27. And Men's Central takes care of Polk County 51-22. Red Bank has taken the air out of their rivalry with Soddy Daisy. The Lions have won the last 3 meetings with the smallest margin of victory being 4 touchdowns.
Red Bank was expected to roll once again as they ventured up Highway 27 to tackle the Trojans. And people of all ages enjoying football on a Friday night. Red Bank starting with the ball, but it's Soddy Daisy who makes the first big play. Blake Castellan jumps the route, and he's going all the way for a pick 6, puts Soddy up 7-0, and we're less than a minute into the game. How does Red Bank respond? Well, spoiler, pretty well. Cordell Howard runs the kickoff from one sideline all the way to the other, decides to take a detour, doesn't want to get stuck in that 27 traffic, and he's going to look like he's going to go all the way, but he finally goes out of bounds at the 30. Same possession, it's 4th down. A.D. Crutcher gets it, and Soddy thinks they've stopped him. Refs disagree, and it's a fresh set of downs for Red Bank. Few plays later, Marquez Beach gets room thanks to a block and goes into the end zone easily. Red Bank wins 33-7. Hickson on display in the press box, mostly. Hickson trying to rally down in this one. Ron Suttles with the reception, stays on his feet, down the sidelines, eventually pushed out of bounds. Central's defense answers back with a sack by Leandre Hinton. Now it's 4th down, and Hickson throws it into the arms of a defender. Kyrie Stewart gets the INT. Central now moving down the field. Donovan Smith with the short pass reception, and somehow finds a way through to move the stick. Same drive, now it's 4th down. Ronye Watson keeps it himself, and Central converts on 4th down. And then the very next play, Watson finds Houston Boykin wide open in the end zone for the score. So quick, ref couldn't even take the ball. Central wins big, 34-16. Now to our overtime scoreboard. McCauley, we had that just not too long ago. They put up 62 points in the first half alone. Tyner 42-0 over Brainerd. Cleveland 55, Eastridge 28. And then we have East Hamilton just absolutely running it up, 48-6 over Sequoia. And then Murphy, a very great game, wins 34-28 over South Pittsburgh. Coming up next on Overtime, Boyd Buchanan tries to stay unbeaten as they face Howard. See the highlights next.
Watching News 12 Overtime, brought to you by Pioneer Metal Depot.
Welcome back to the show. A trip from Meigs County to Signal Mountain, that can be a tough one. The windy roads up the mountain just add to the challenge.
But this Meigs County team wants to show it's a tough physical team, and Signal Mountain is ready to show they won't quit.
So a guy walks into a saloon and says, "Mind if I play my trumpet on your roof?" Well, sure, go ahead. Halftime entertainment for Meigs and Signal. Tigers up 22-3 at the break. Tigers' Joe Gunner Grant will not be denied that tackle for a loss. He was hanging on. Meigs County with the ball. Eagles' Billy Vega swings in from behind, punches the ball loose. Forrest Payne picks it up, and he dodges one last tackle before hitting the end zone, some 50 yards. It's 22-9. Tigers have an answer. Tylen Kriskauskas bounces outside, rumbles in for 6. Touchdown makes it 28-9. The Eagles get down the field in a hurry. Cash King, their quarterback, lobs it. Talk about high point in the football. Blake Walford with a great leaping grab. Ref says, you know what? That's a touchdown. It's 28-15. Meigs County, they hold on for a 28-23 victory.
Dade and Marion County, who are you going to call? Well, obviously the Ghostbusters. Brody Cooper rolls out, flips it to Justin Bradford to extend the drive, and that would set up this run by Braylon Sullivan, who scoots by would-be tacklers. Excuse me, as I walk into the opening touchdown, 7-0 Dade. Marion County's defense trying to keep Marion in it. Ryan Kitchens gets the pressure and the sack, and it's still 7-0 Dade at halftime. And Marion County is ready to take you into the danger zone. Brody Leonard comes out like an F-22 down the sidelines for a solid carry and wrestled out of bounds. Later in the drive, Dade at the 1-yard line punches it in for 6, 13-0 Dade, and Dade goes on to win 27-zip.
Back to the overtime scoreboard. Grundy County falls hard to Bledsoe County, 50-8. Talk about falling hard. Harding Academy fell hard to CCS, 64-0. Lookout Valley, a loser at home to Hayesville, North Carolina. And Ray County suffers a tough 3-point loss on the road to Anderson County. Boyd Buchanan brought in Gary Rankin in the offseason, the winningest high school coach in Tennessee State history. And it looks like Rankin has rubbed off on the Bucks.
Success didn't take too long as Boyd Buchanan is off to a 3-0 start, and they've outscored their opponents 129-17.
Howard hoping to weather the Boyd storm in the Tigers' den. Bucks got an early pick, trying to cash in, give to Browns Donaldson. He gets outside, he takes it to the house. BD, the TD, 30 yards, 7-0 Bucks. Ty Barnes going buck wild, shoots the gap and gobbles up the running back for a big tackle for a loss. Coach Rankin thinking, we need another turnover. And here it comes. Christian Holland's pass is high, tipped in the air. James Nolan tracks it down for the interception. Nolan picks up a nice convoy, but they don't turn around and block for him. Nolan taken down just shy of the goal line. Next snap, they're going to give it to the big fella, Jalen Sandifer, and he rumbles in for the score. Bucks get another shutout as they win this one by a final score of 38-0.
More overtime scoreboard for you. Jackson versus Sequatchie County, and Sequatchie County 48-0. And Silverdale a 47-19 winner over Lakeway Christian. And other scores in the area, we also have Calhoun dropping their second of the season to Cedartown 21-7, and a huge scoring match. Rockmart beats Dalton 63-42. Still ahead, more Thursday action as Bradley Central tackled rival McMinn County.
You're watching News 12 Overtime, brought to you by Pioneer Metal Depot.
Bradley Central and McMinn County may not be one of the sexiest rivalries in our area.
But hey, they've played over 100 times. Not many rivalries, particularly at the high school level, can say that. So let's get to the action on Thursday night. Bradley's D coming to play. Finn Mertens lowering the boom on the first series of the game. Later on in the first quarter, Jay Allen Terry gets the ball, gets outside, and goes 78 yards for the touchdown. And just like that, it's 7-0 Bears. No one's going to catch him except for, well, you know, his teammate. And on Bradley's next possession, play action to Jarius Rogers. He says it was so fun celebrating that previous touchdown that he might as well put points up of his own. 14-0 Bradley. Now we head to the second quarter, and he's just trying to make the entire highlight reel. Catches the punt on the fly, and one more time he's going to go down the sideline, gets a block, makes two guys miss, but Aiden Wilson doesn't give up on the play and eventually brings him down inside the 5, where the Bears would eventually punch it in to make it 21-0. Bradley gets the victory by a final of 42-24. Walker Valley made their home debut as they entertained Carter. Mustangs trailed 7-3 at the half. Fourth down for the Hornets to start the third. Mustangs Jacob Hollinsworth and Tucker Ownby made the tackle to stop them on fourth down. Carter's defense showing up to play too. Evan Swartzel dropped by a horde of defenders for Carter in the backfield for a sack. Next play, Nick Corum registers a sack of his own, and this just in, pretty hard to score when you keep getting sacked. Still a 7-3 ball game. Hornets are knocking on the door. Pass in the air. Joseph Armenta makes the touchdown catch. It's 14-3, and that would be your final as the Hornets sting the Stangs.
Back to the overtime scoreboard. Sale Creek a winner, 37-28, and trying all over Gordon Central. The final in that one, 57-0.
The News 12 Overtime Cheer Cam, brought to you by SNS Auto Repair.
From the gridiron to the classroom, News 12 Scholar Athlete is still ahead.
Plus, Chattooga and Kahala Creek square off. We have all that and more coming up.
You're watching News 12 Overtime, brought to you by Pioneer Metal Depot.
Flooding in Somerville over the weekend forced Chattooga to move their home football game against Kahala Creek to Colts country this week. Game was soon bumped to Thursday evening. Colts quarterback Case Kinnaman, he may not be a rambling man, but he's definitely a scrambling man. On the run, he hits Tyson King in stride. It's good to be king. He goes 42 yards for the touchdown, 7-0 Kahala Creek. Next series from the 6. Here comes Peyton Gordon. He gets in for the touchdown. Colts go up 14-0. Second quarter, Kinnaman is going to stay in the pocket this time. Over the middle to Nate Tilley. You see the DB go down. Tilley racing for a touchdown, stopped just short. Colts got a TD on the next snap to make it 21-0. Indians looking for a score at the end of the rainbow. Right before the half, they have it first and goal from the 2, but Kareem Bradley just blew up that first down play. Colts held on 4 downs. Kahala Creek gets the shutout with a 35-0 victory.
And now we switch from the football field to the classroom as we recognize this week's Scholar Athlete. This week's Scholar Athlete is Notre Dame's Jaden Kelly.
Scholar Athlete of the Week, supplied by Wholesale Supply Group.
Jaden is described as a wonderful student athlete who plays 3 sports at Notre Dame, football, basketball, and track. He maintains a 3.9 GPA, much higher than mine, and he also is a member of the National Honor Society, as well as participating in various volunteer groups to help those in need. He is described as a very quiet, humble young man who never asks for anything in return. His reward comes from helping others in need and maintaining his faith. Congrats to Jaden on Scholar Athlete of the Week. Don't go anywhere. We still have our top 5 plays. Find out which play takes the top spot.
You're watching News 12 Overtime, brought to you by Pioneer Metal Depot.
We saw 2 of the top quarterbacks in our area face off last night in the Battle of Northwest Whitfield and North Murray.
Both QBs are seniors and have been the starter for most or all of their high school career.
North Murray and Northwest Whitfield rivalry has plenty of offensive power. Both are led by skilled senior QBs. For North Murray, it's Seth Griffin.
he can run. I mean, he's a big body. I mean, he's right at 6'4", running around 200 pounds, and can run. So, you know, I try to make it hard on defensive coordinators. Not just everybody thinks I throw it every time, and I don't. We run the ball just as much as we throw it. But that just adds another element that that other teams have to get ready for during the week.
And on the other side, it's Owen Brooker for Northwest Whitfield.
Owen is, we love him to death. He's been starting his very first game as a freshman, you know, and now we're 4 games into his senior year, so he's got a lot of experience under his belt.
Well, you just have to love the guys you're playing with, and I do, and I want them to succeed as much as I want myself to succeed. And it's all about the team to me. It's a team sport. If I wanted to play an individual sport, I'd play another game. So I love the team aspect of football.
They have also known each other for a long time.
Me and Owen actually used to be best friends growing up, and then he moved to Northwest, and so yeah, we're both quarterbacks, and I'm going to do what I can do to win the game and control my offense, and I'm sure he'll do the same, so I think it's going to be a great battle.
And Griffin says they have similar personalities.
Owen's very, very laid back kid, just kind of goes with the flow, and I feel like I'm the same, so it's more of, I think we're both kind of focused on our own team.
Both QBs are able to sling it through the air and have a chance at breaking some records.
I think he's right at breaking all the records. You know, this is his 3rd year starting, and he's played a lot of football for me. You know, he had to play a game or 2 his freshman year when Ladd got hurt. So he's played a lot of football, and I expect a lot out of him.
Going in the year, he was 43rd all-time in career passing yardage. If he replicates last year's output, then he's going to end up like 7th all-time in the state of Georgia. He's already thrown for 900 yards or so.
But both coaches say records aren't what the talented QBs are focused on.
The great thing about Owen is when guys are like that in high school, social media, all that kind of stuff, they typically worry about that kind of thing, and that really means something to them. Owen's one of those guys that'll be special for him and be nice, but he couldn't care less. If he throws for 0 yards the next 7 games and we're 10-0, he's going to be perfectly happy.
I just try not to think about it. I think, you know, once I'm all said and done here at Northwest and I'm done playing, then we'll count them up and see where I'm at.
When you step into a high school press box, it's like stepping back in time. Most of them are old, small, and they kind of smell like popcorn. In other words, guaranteed fun if you're trying to broadcast a game from there.
How would you describe high school press boxes?
Unique to every location. How about that?
Sometimes you need to be a brave broadcaster to enter a high school press box.
It was a wooden structure, and the wind was about 30 to 40 mile an hour gust, and you literally could feel the press box swaying back and forth.
Sometimes you even take the press out of the press box.
We get to the game, no phone lines. None for us in the press box. So we had to extend our wires from the coach's office, and as far as it would go is into the stands. So literally we're sitting in the stands with our information in our laps, and I mean, we're passing by popcorn and all this kind of stuff, broadcasting the game.
Chris and I did a game at Whitwell where we basically had a canopy and a little bit of a desk, and we were sitting right there with the fans. We were in the stands, you know, because they didn't have enough room in their press box.
Do you like the heat, bugs, and loud noises? Welcome to our press box.
There's one place, I think it might have been Soddy Daisy, where they had a nice hornet's nest there one year.
And at Boyd Buchanan, they have, their windows don't open. This was in August. We just sat there and baked. At Macaulay, they have spent some money on that sound system. I mean, it will rattle your heart out of your chest. Air horns are the bane of my existence.
Better get used to it, because that's life in a high school press box.
No one redoes their press box. No one says, hey, you know what? Those poor guys up there, those people up there that are covering the game, they should really have something first class.
And I love the one at Sequatchie County. You know, number one, they have a refrigerator, and they've always got cold Coca-Colas for you. And they actually have a bathroom in the press box.
That's high class right there.
I mean, give me a bathroom and I'll be happy.
After 2 nights of high school football, we've seen plenty of highlights.
Whether it's through the air, on the ground, or by the defense, some plays just stand out. Here's the News 12 top 5 plays. Number 5, Signal Mountain, Cash Keen with the lob. And talk about high pointing the football. Blake Walford gets a great leaping grab, and it's called a touchdown, but it wouldn't be enough for the victory.
At number 4, Coahulla Creek was rising. Case Kinnaman rolling out. He's on the run, and he's going to hit Tyler King on the run. KK Tatike goes for a 42-yard touchdown. Coahulla Creek beat Chattooga 35-0.
Number 3, Meigs County with the ball. Eagles' Billy Vega, shout out to him, swings in from behind, punches the ball loose, and then Forrest Payne is, I'll take that. And here's a terrible movie reference, run Forrest! He dodges one last tackle before getting into the end zone for 6.
At number 2, more defense. Saudi Daisy's Blake Castellan. Did I get that right?
I believe so.
Sitting on that route against Red Bank, he's got a pick 6. That was Saudi's only score of the night, though. Red Bank beat the Trojans by a final of 33-7.
And number 1, we head to Thursday Night Football. Bradley Central, Jay Allen Terry gets the ball, gets outside, and goes a whole 78 yards for the touchdown. The only person who would catch him is his teammate, Jarius Rogers, who joins in on the touchdown celebration, and they can both enjoy being in the top highlight spot. Some college football action. Chattanooga Mocs on the road at Eastern Illinois, and then the big game, Alabama at Texas.
We'll see you next week. Have a great Saturday afternoon, everybody.
Thanks for watching.